and I know, and they know, cause we know, we go all in, and I know, they know, cause we know, we go all in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of What You've Been Missing. It feels like forever and a day. I've missed you. You missed us. We've missed you together. You are now listening to the All Dressed Up podcast. We talk with your boy K Dizzle DC. And to my right, your left is the big homie. Tell him who you are, my guy.
Man, what's good? All Dressed Up podcast family. It's your man Hef Streams. How you been, people? Good to see you.
Big Sal's in the building early and often. What up, Sal? Look, ladies and gentlemen, we did miss you last week. I am still getting over, I don't know what it is, something that almost took me out, Lord Jesus. But you know, God is good. Jesus is great. And more importantly, week 13 is here.
Yeah.
We are fit to get into it. But first, let's talk. Half what you've been up to, my man.
So look, man, been a couple weeks. Mr. K does a whole ball as well. Let's talk about how everybody's Thanksgiving was. My personal favorite holiday, Turkey Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, all of the above. How was your Thanksgiving, K Dizzle?
Thanksgiving was good. It was quiet this year. Spent with the intermediate family, reset time, and just relax. Usually it's a big family affair. Shout out to my family that drove to North Carolina and those that stayed home. Travel emerges to all, but it was good. It was really good. It was refreshing. I'll say that.
So I gotta tell you, right?
What?
One of the original All Dressed Up podcast family members, Bianca herself, HCG, man, she was at the Friendsgiving that me and Shanae was attending.
Mm-hmm.
Sal's already going in. We're gonna get there, Sal. Stick with us, Sal. We're gonna get there, big dog. Shout out to Sal Joseph of the Enough Said podcast. So Bianca, man, we was at the Friendsgiving. Much love to Kiera, and me and Shanae was in there, and she had me crying, man, because it was some big back behavior going on. It was some big back behavior going on. I'm not even gonna say like even my baby was caught up really, going after the plates, getting all the to-go plates together and everything, that whole shuffle. But it was good. We had a good time, man. We left with like 6 or 7 to-go plates.
Okay.
And, Friendsgiving. And then we had the Thanksgiving with the family. So it was a great time. But happy to be back. We're gonna unpack the game of the year so far for the NFL. At least the hype was there, right, K Dizzle? I'm gonna pass it to you because you should roll this one out.
You want me to put it there? The Eagles versus the Ravens recap. Biggest game of the year. Biggest game, I think, of the past couple of weeks that everybody's been looking for and looking forward to. Because truthfully, I think the only good game we had over the past Thanksgiving weekend was this game and the Bears and Lions, and we'll talk about that in a second, that whole debacle. But this was the game that everyone wanted to say whether or not the Eagles were real or whether or not the Ravens are a real contender, right? And so we came out what we said we were going to do. We came out there. Defense dominated. Offense did their normal thing, start out slow, but find their way through the game, make their adjustments, and come out with a win. Look, I think they did an awesome job, and I pretty much put their stamp saying that, hey, we're one of, if not the best team in the NFC, we are the best team in the NFC, and you guys need to worry about us moving forward because since their bye week, they've had the number one defense in the league, and they proved that tonight. 2 great running backs. One of them came out on top. The other one did fairly well too. But at the end of the day, they did enough to make sure that they won. And they held one of the top offenses to 12 points. I don't recognize the garbage points, that last drive. So it wasn't close close as what it was. But more importantly, we came out with a great win. I've been saying it for a long time. If we take this Baltimore game, Eagles might run the table.
So look, I just sat here and really wanted you to go ahead and roll this out because we were talking about the Eagles and the Ravens for a while. Going into today's game, I don't know, Kate Dizzle, if you thought this would be an inclination of anything further than what it was, but I think the media is going to spin this tomorrow and say the Eagles are the Super Bowl favorites between them and Detroit.
Of course.
The Ravens are a real scary team. And even Pittsburgh looked really good today, to talk about other teams that look scary for the postseason. But, I think the win was good. You guys went to Baltimore. I thought y'all were going to win the game. The game kind of went how I expected it. Y'all you start in the second half, and the Ravens fell into the trap. The Eagles have a really scary defense, man. People got to really pay attention. Like a lot of people look at Saquon Barkley's MVP season that he's putting together. It's that Eagles defense that's playing football out there.
100%.
They put Lamar in a position where he was running for his life all day. They couldn't really get comfortable enough to run the ball with Derrick Henry because they got caught up in the hype of the game. They kind of should have probably slowed it down and ran the ball some more, but hey, it is what it is. They came up short. And do you feel like now the Eagles are a Super Bowl favorite?
Do I feel like they're a Super Bowl favorite? I'm biased.
It is what it is.
I'm super biased. Yes, absolutely. Because again, for the Bears and the Lions to be that close on Thanksgiving and the Lions to be so beat up this late in the season, they have a tougher schedule than we have. I think the only real team we got to look at is Pittsburgh. And I'm not going to give Pittsburgh credit by going against the Cincinnati Bengals, who don't have a defense.
But a lot of these teams that are good, quote unquote, are just finding ways to win. Like nobody's really stamping these games to where they're really like they got that identity, like, oh, this team's got the best defense in the league, so they're gonna be shutting you down. Like the Eagles are kind of playing really good, like I said, now on defense, but Kansas City's finding ways to win. Every week they're finding a way. Buffalo's finding a way. The Eagles are finding a way. You guys are 10-2. So Pittsburgh, like these are teams that no matter how tight they get, into these games with competition, to where they can actually take these L's, they're pulling out wins, man. Like Sal said, KC's finding a way to win. So I want to just say there was a lot of shade that was thrown to my Commanders because we had a 3-game losing streak. I'm not gonna let y'all off the hook with that. We did end that losing streak, and we cooked Tennessee and did what we were supposed to do as well. So, just gotta give my Commanders some love.
For sure, give them some love. Give them all the love. Okay, they put up a 40-burger on the Tennessee Titans, which you should have. The Titans are in shambles right now. The Will Levis is just taking too many chances, too many risks, too many big risks, and they're not paying off.
Of course, the teams we beat are in shambles.
Yeah,
you guys beat teams that are Super Bowl, potential teams. We beat teams in shambles.
You said TNC's out with a non-contact injury to snowball tonight. Oh, that's curtains definitely curtains for the 49ers.
Oh yeah, he just pulled up. Not good at all.
Oh yeah, he went down. Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for him. But yeah, more importantly, wrapping the week up, we already know about who's going and who's staying. A lot of people went out. I think the biggest thing is going to be the game tomorrow night. Who's the Sunday night game? Really quick.
Who's the who?
Sorry, Monday night game. Monday night. Who's the Monday night game?
The Monday night game. You put me on the spot because I can't remember who it is. Let me see.
I'm gonna cough my brain.
Sal, who plays tomorrow night, Sal?
Let me look at who's the Monday night game. That's the Browns and the Tech. Is the Browns and somebody?
Browns Broncos.
Browns and Broncos.
So the Broncos are gonna cook them.
That's going to be hilarious because, believe it or not, I think both of those teams are still in the hunt. If the Browns win, they're still in the hunt. If the Broncos win, they're still in the hunt. And they're two subpar teams in the AFC. The NFC has actually been a stronger division than the
I
AFC.
want to see the Commanders get a chance to play Philly in the playoffs. I would love to have another watch party Enough Said podcast, because the last time you guys had a lot of fun at my expense. I would love to play Spoiler Man, because I don't think y'all would just run through the Commanders in the playoffs.
No, it's not going to happen. I'm telling you, we're getting the 1 seed. The Lions are going to lose to the Bills next week, and they're going to be 10-2. And
the Lions play the Bills next week.
They play the Bills next week.
So that's what I'm saying. See, what do these games tell us, man? Like, does the loser of that game, are they not going to win the Super Bowl this year? Are they not going to be a team to look out for? Is Baltimore out?
No, Baltimore's not out. Baltimore's definitely not out.
So they can definitely still win the Super Bowl, even though they've taken a couple, tough losses.
So I'll say Lions play Green Bay next week, and then they play the Bills. Then they play. Hold on, let's look at their schedule real quick.
Man, what did the Lions do to deserve their schedule?
I don't know. They're in trouble.
This late in the season, too. The Commanders got a bye week next week.
They play the Packers next week. Then they play the Bills. And then they play the Bears again. And then what's their last game here? The 49ers.
Talk about the Bears. They fired their coach the next morning before he even could get his day started after he did that shit with the last 30 seconds, not calling a timeout. That was terrible, man.
Really quick. We're going to sit on that really quick, the Bears debacle, because that's a sad state of affairs. They could have at least tied it up and went into overtime. But because of poor management, poor time management, and poor coaching, they waste 11 seconds at the end of the game.
Man, it was like 30 seconds.
It was, it was 13.
They had like 30 seconds.
It was something.
But then they ended up, killing the last 11.
Killing the last 11 seconds when they had a timeout in the pocket. And it was one of those things. The reason why Matt Eberflus got fired, he shouldn't have stayed a coach after that period.
I don't think. Yeah, was that game at home? Because I don't think he would have flew. I don't think.
No, it was in Detroit. It was in Detroit.
He might not have flew home with the team after that.
It was definitely in Detroit.
He got dismissed immediately.
He did a morning conference, and then they fired him 2 hours later.
I mean, they did all that free agency, all those moves.
Mm-hmm.
Drafted Caleb Williams first before the season was even over last year. They was we're taking Caleb. Like, they just knew he was gonna be the best quarterback coming out. And nothing worked out.
Yeah. Like, it was sad state of affairs. But it's tightening up. This is December. This is when the playoff teams show who they are and the losers show who they are. And in about 3 weeks, we're gonna know who's sitting at home watching everybody continue to play. And it's exciting. The NFL is getting to a point where it's getting down to the nitty gritty, and we're going to see the real team start to emerge. So, before let's move from the NFL real quick. I know it's been a little bit, but we haven't been here. I just want to address some of the things in the room. I know how y'all feeling. We probably forgot about it by now, but the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson money grab results. Now, if you were like everybody else in this room that saw that fight and as over the age of 30, let alone 40, that sat down and watched this fight, you were highly disappointed. As soon as the first bell rang, you were highly disappointed because we all sat there and thought, oh man, this dude's going to knock him out. Mike Tyson is going to murder this kid. Come to find out after the fight, after being wholly disappointed for this whole situation, that Mike Tyson got paid extra money to not knock him out and to go the whole 8 rounds. So we didn't know this until after the fact, right? Yeah, Sal, the dance match. So everybody came out of that 100% disappointed. It was like childhood hero just taking a dive for the quick cash grab, right? I mean, this is how I took it. I mean, it was an audible gasp in the room with the people I was hanging with watching it. So upset, looking at Mike Tyson like, man, he look old. But the videos leading up nothing showed him looking as old as he was acting in the ring. You feel me?
You be having me laughing because you keep on talking about those promo videos, man. The thing about it was, if you look at the fight, K Dizzle, the shit was rigged. He was sitting there in front of Jake Paul. He would duck. He would slip his punches and be right there to wake it. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And he didn't throw those punches, man. It was obvious. It was rigged. It was a setup. It was a money grab. And it's entertainment. The only thing that they got to do to really sell it well was make it a sanctioned fight so they can say it on his record. But Mike ain't care. He was taking no loss.
Yeah.
Mike got paid.
Mike got paid 100%. They did put up, somebody did put up, they asked him to fight overseas, a rematch of Tyson and Jake Paul, and they put up 700 mil.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because they wanted a real fight.
Yeah.
They wanted a real fight, and they wanted to fight overseas, and Jake Paul declined it. Talking about, I'm an American boxer. I'm a heavyweight. He didn't want to die. I think that's what it really was. So
when he calls out, he's got a type. You know, speaking of Jake Paul, he's got a type. He's looking for Conor McGregor. You know, anybody that he can make some good promo, do a good 3-month tour with, get some people excited about a potential scrap. And anybody with a fade name that was a star hair fight like Conor McGregor isn't nobody that I would be impressed with if Jake Paul beat in a boxing match. Like, he's not going to get in the ring with anybody who's actually live, breathe, and study boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If Jake Paul fights anybody that came up really in a boxing gym, you know, he's going to get his ass punished out there.
For sure.
But, you know, good thing Mike Tyson got his 20 mil, whatever it was. I'm not mad at that. You know, he should be up from here on out. I don't want to see him step foot in the ring again. I'm not interested. I'm not interested, man.
Oh, man. Look, you know, he's calling out Canelo and all these other people. He's got to fight somebody in heavyweight. You know, I could see him fighting Deontay Wilder and Wilder knocking him out. Unless the bag is there.
Deontay Wilder would kill Jake Paul.
Yes, he would. But you got to remember, he can't fight anybody. He can't fight anybody that's not a heavyweight. Because remember, Canelo's like 160.
Yeah. And then unless they fight at some random catch weight.
Yeah.
Which, why would they do that? Like, I'm not gonna sit there and fight. If I'm Canelo, I'm not gonna fight him at 200 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, the Commanders are doing good. Miss Heflin.
Shout out to the two major news breaks. We didn't even talk about this for your Commanders. One, the name around your neck might be coming back. They're in negotiations with that. And two, there's some hurdles have been cleared for them to redo a stadium at RFK. So those things are in the works.
Man, you reporting that like you excited.
Oh, I am excited. I'm excited for it all come back.
Okay.
Sean Bay too small.
Leave my man Sean Bay out of this.
Sean Bay
and Jake Paul, that'd be a hell of a fight.
Sean Bay too small.
I don't know, man. Sean Bay might be too sharp.
Sean Bay's like $140. Jake Paul like 220.
I don't know, man, but he's sharp.
I don't care how sharp you are. The weight is a big difference. Yeah. Weight is a huge difference.
Remember, I never thought about Sean Bay and Jake Paul. That's interesting.
Look, I love my man. Shout out to Sean Bay, who just got in the box.
You should call Sean Bay real quick and see if he think he'll whoop Jake Paul.
We should call him. But look, 301. Let me put the number 301-857-1757. It's the number if you want to join the conversation.
Sean Bay, if you watching, man, hit me up, man. Let me know if you think you'll whoop Jake Paul. I never asked you that.
Oh no,
I think you're too sharp for him.
You too, you my man. You gonna have to pepper him heavy, bro. That's a big dude. Weight makes a big difference, and Sean Bay will tell you that. You peppering a 220 dude, and you $140, $150.
He better stop calling Tank Davis out, though.
Who is?
Jake Paul. He better leave Tank Davis' name out of his mouth.
Tank Davis ain't gonna fight him either. Tank Davis like $140.
Yeah, he need to stop. He'll still whoop Jake Paul. $140, $150.
Yeah, he hit different. He do hit different.
And he got that youth.
You want to talk about this? Hold on, man. Which way you want to go with this really quick?
I mean, you know, we talked about K. Dotty dropped his album. Kendrick Lamar running with the torch right now.
Yeah, let's run that.
As the most noteworthy rapper probably out in the game right now that's not in the news for getting locked up. He just dropped his album. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't say it was one of the best things I've ever heard.
Mhm.
A lot of people are getting caught up in the moment, I think, with the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake thing. I've said that a few times. But the album was pretty good, man. It had a few songs on it that I actually liked.
Mhm.
Like me and you talked about, it had a decent West Coast vibe. But we'll only rock with that West Coast vibe type music for so long. Over here, you know how we go with our music, so it's all good.
So it was different. It was
Yeah,
different.
yeah. It starts to sound a little different. He tries to do a lot of different variances with his cadence. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's the thing. Like, I like to see people get creative. I'm not the type of person that say a person has to stay in a certain box when they rap,
Mhm.
musically. But he does a lot of voice changing and shit like that. But overall, I think it was a good album.
So let me say this before we really go into the Kendrick and the Drake conversation. I think people have been talking about how this Kendrick and Drake situation has really overshadowed and taken over a lot of big songs and big artists
Up and
that have
coming
great,
talent and shit.
talent this year.
Yeah,
Shout out to Glorilla. She's had like 4 hits this year.
yeah.
That's gone crazy. And when we talk about putting the list together, still it's Kendrick Lamar, Kendrick Lamar, Kendrick Lamar. And how do you fight that? If you like a Glorilla fan or you like any of these people who had really big hits or really big songs this year, how can you fight that?
But
After
don't
that man, I think he's had after Not Like Us, I think it's probably gonna last. I mean, the test of time. How do you
but
do that?
don't get it twisted. Glorilla got her fans coming to find her,
Yeah.
and she's still available with her content, and she's doing very well. And that's great for Glorilla and artists like her that's doing really big right now. I think with the Kendrick shit, it's propaganda. He's performing in the Super Bowl. You've got these relationships. We about to talk about Arizona. So you got these relationships with everybody, and now a lot of people, include media people, are coming out and talking about the real reason why it seems like everybody kind of went against Drake in this battle. He probably wasn't such a stand-up guy as he portrayed himself to be. Just fucking over a lot of other people in
Mhm.
the industry. Doing a lot of shit that was cruddy, and it seems like they all, turned his TV off, just like one
Yeah.
of the songs on Kendrick's album is called. So Drake's suing, man. He said UMG is inflating the "They Not Like Us" track and all of his falsehoods in it by over promoting the success and really driving it on the basis of it not having truth in the song. So what do you think about that? Like, is that some whole shit?
If you see the ticker on the bottom, it's a pure light skin move.
Damn.
Pure, unadulterated light skin move. For
I
you
mean,
to come
too.
back and pull out a lawsuit in a rap beef saying that a company has inflated the very thing that the company does for you on a consistent basis is inflated your arch enemy's song that is telling what you feel is to be untruths about you um, is crazy to me.
he
Is
got
I call it kettle black.
he getting Ja Ruled at this point,
He
man.
is.
I'm gonna say right now, Arizona. I really thought Drake was gonna be able to come back strong because of his fan base being so female populated. A lot of women like Drake, but it's getting to the point to where if he don't get in the studio and sing a song, man, this shit's getting ugly for him. I don't want to see him suing the record company and all this shit about inflation. Like, you got out rap on a couple songs. They said you was doing some freaky shit. If you was doing some freaky shit or not, it is what it is. Get your shit together. Go in there and sing a love song.
That's
Hey,
so.
let me ask the chat this. Let's talk about this before we
Go ahead.
before we move on. When's the last time Drake had a hit single?
That's what I'm saying. So he's got to get in there and just make hits. He got to get in there. Don't even talk about Kendrick. Don't talk about nothing. Just go in there and make some good female hits that they're gonna love. They're gonna talk about. They're gonna
When is
request.
the last
You
When is the
gotta go
last
Kendrick.
single that Drake put out that was a hit, K Dizzle?
I
Not
can't
to
tell you.
put you on the spot. God's plan.
He,
Oh, the fingernail polish. She was, and see, that's another thing too. See, that's another thing too, Arizona. Drake has been getting caught up trying to jump on all these different waves to
yeah.
keep reinventing himself. He's been able to reinvent himself a lot of times over the years to stay successful, like, for like what, 12, 13 years damn near. So now he's trying to put the fingernail polish on to ride that wave, doing the crazy shit with his hair, doing the little West Coast braids
Ponytail.
and shit. Like all that is to just keep that wave for him to stay relevant. And he's reaching right now. And with all this now not coming up behind a hit song, it's looking foolish because it's like you ain't got the song right now that we dancing to for us to even want to believe that your shit right now is hot.
It's not.
He reaching.
It's not.
And
You don't
then
have
Joe
anything to
Budden,
stand on right now.
and then Joe Budden's coming out, jumping on the wave because he's leading the media voice about how, Drake was a piece of shit. They taking personal shots at that man's character,
Oh,
saying that's another reason why a lot of people, pretty much teamed up against him because he really was a sack of shit, is what he said.
oh.
So, a lot of personal shit. But who knows, man? I say he should just go in there and make a song, do what he does best, sing a love song, make a dance record.
Just go back to making music, bro. Go back to
That's
making
it.
music. Take the L. Put out an album. Don't even address it. Don't even try to rebuttal it or come back with him. Let that man Kendrick have his space.
One of the first songs he did, as a matter of fact, was the shit he did with Sexy Red. Like he been bullshitting ever since Kendrick Lamar washed him up.
Mm-hmm.
So he might not come back. He might have got Ja Rule.
Nah, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. People love him too much. He's got way too strong of a following. He is this generation's Jay-Z, believe it or not.
So what do you think? You think he's gonna come back? You think he's gonna come back and be the same Drizzy, or do you think he's gonna reinvent himself again?
He has no need to reinvent himself for what?
Because of what just happened to him.
Nobody cares whether he reinvents himself or not. They just want Drizzy. They want BBL Drizzy to come back and make some more songs that they can sing in the same tone and tone and stance and tempo that they love. So just make some more music, bro. Just act like it never happened. Go back to him like, yeah, he did flame me. He had to not like us. I can't come back from that. We're just gonna he won that. We're just gonna move on and continue with our careers. Just take the L. Because there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do or say that's going to change the opinion of people. You're going to deliver that L for the rest of your life. So shout out to Kendrick Lamar for flaming him with one song for the rest of his life. That song is going to sit harder than Ether sat. Nas and Jay-Z.
Does he perform it? Does he perform it at the Super Bowl?
Absolutely. Why not?
Does he perform it at the Super Bowl?
Why not? Why wouldn't he?
I think that's gonna be hard as shit if he does.
Yeah. How's it going to be? If he does, everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows what it's going to be. You know he's going to do it. He's got to do it. He's got to do it. It's almost a requirement at this point.
All I'm gonna say is keep my man Wayne's name out your mouth, K Dot. I understand, he wanted to make a little line and say he let Wayne down, all this little yada yada shit. But he don't want to mess with my man Wayne. Come on now.
I think
I ain't talking about no battle record because for real, nobody ever came at Wayne like that on no musical shit to where he had to make a whole song battle with somebody. But I would like to see a versus. Like if him and Kendrick did a versus together, I think that should be all right.
I think Drake performing at the World Cup.
Him and Bad Bunny.
Yeah. I think Wayne Stans pulled him in the conversation when he didn't even want to be pulled in the conversation. And then to be caught on camera, showing to be upset about something that wasn't, was never guaranteed to you or you feel entitled to. I don't know where this form of entitlement came from, but it's definitely unwarranted. You are a performer from a specific city, and no performer from any specific city is entitled to the biggest stage on national television. Period. It is an honor to be chosen or to be considered for that stage. And looking at the people in the past who have been on that stage, it's definitely been an honor and been chosen. Some people that we don't even agree with, like The Weeknd. I didn't agree with The Weeknd being on that stage, but hey, they felt he was big enough to be on that stage, and they gave him the spotlight.
I didn't like that shit.
And a lot of people didn't like it, but hey, it's not. It just wasn't for us.
But I really want to know what it is between him and Jay, man. Like, fuck all the subliminal passive aggressive shit. Like, is it an issue? Like, I don't know if Jay and Wayne got beef to this day, but I don't think they were ever really tight, you know. And now that Jay-Z's running that department as far as Super Bowl entertainment, it's convenient for him to go ahead and make the decision to have Kendrick perform.
I think it was a business.
It was smart. It was a smart business decision.
Performance, and it was it's a performance decision, and more importantly,
it's marketability. Yeah,
popularity. And look, I know. Look, whether he owes Jay money or not, I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think more than anything, it was about putting on a good show and who's more popular. Wayne has not put an album out in how long?
It's see, I see where you're going, K Dizzle.
That's what I'm saying.
But you've had vintage acts before on Super Bowl performances.
That is true.
So that's all I'm saying is like, who told him that he was going to be performing, or was it like what you said? Did he just have entitlement because it's in New Orleans? Because maybe somebody told him, "Hey, you're gonna be performing. The Super Bowl's coming to the hometown." Woo, woo, woo. But the whole time he was never gonna be there.
It was the entitlement complex. But more importantly, let's talk about the throwback people we had there. Who do we have that was like a?
You've had Prince.
You've
had Prince. You've had Richard. What's his name? Richard
Prince Petty. Still putting out albums, but Prince is an icon. Okay, that cross genres that has been in the music industry for over 40 years before he even got on that stage. Prince been making music since the late 60s.
Look at the last Super Bowl performance.
It don't even matter. So you can look. The last Super Bowl performance was it with 50 Cent, Eminem, Dr. Dre. It was Dr. Dre, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige. Dre is an icon. Dre's been making music for 40 plus years. Right? Michael Jackson, icon. These are iconic people over the course of the past 2 to 3 or 4 decades. Lil Wayne has a lane that he stayed in and never came out of. Kendrick Lamar is a current icon that has crossed over into the mainstream.
Okay, but look at 2019 in Atlanta. They had Big Boy and Travis Scott, 2 Atlanta artists, with Maroon 5.
Okay, Travis Scott.
Oh, go ahead.
Travis Scott, whether you know it or not, is an international superstar.
KD, you kind of going hard on my man Wayne now.
I'm not going hard on Wayne. Look, I'm not going hard on Wayne. I'm just looking at the optics of it. I love Wayne. I know he's a super talented, and he's one of the legends in the game. One of the things is he has only been in one lane and one lane only, and that is the rap culture. But people love him outside of the rap culture because of who he is as a person. They love his personality, but he hasn't broken outside of the rap culture. Kendrick Lamar has broken outside of the rap culture. Travis Scott, if you go on YouTube right now, you can see Travis Scott doing shows internationally, selling them out to hundreds of thousands of people in the crowd.
I totally agree with you, but that started from Wayne.
Did it start from Wayne?
Wayne, in my opinion, was one of the first rappers that sprung that whole wave towards the white audience and that crowd. And he even did the Rebirth albums.
Okay.
Like when he did the rock shit. So my opinion is like, if you love Wayne and you don't, you still gotta respect him for being a legend in hip hop. When I look at the rappers that played the Super Bowl, you got the West Coast rappers, you got 50. You got Eminem, you got Dre, you got Snoop. You got Kendrick Lamar this year. Yes, Usher did a good job. That's a singer. But outside of Jay-Z, who else would you say is big enough in rap to be able to play the Super Bowl? It would have to be Wayne. The problem is, I agree that his hits that he will play don't do well live.
Correct.
And when you really see him live, he's not going to transcend. His legend's not going to transcend to that stage unless you're a Wayne stan.
Correct.
It's not going to appeal to the mainstream media watching the Super Bowl.
Correct.
And that's going to be the thing. Just like if you put, a real major artist of another genre out there, a lot of people will love it, but the rest of the world will be like, man, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, I'm not trying to hear a Millie live in a Super Bowl halftime show.
A Millie, you're not trying to hear the Hot Boys.
I'm not trying to hear Lollipop.
You're not trying to hear Lollipop
At the halftime.
Trying to hear Officer.
I want to hear mixtape Wayne, so that's not going to be necessary in the halftime show. That's why I say give me a verses for real. I don't really care about hearing Lollipop at halftime.
Ron telling me lean back on Wayne. I'm leaning back on Wayne, just because the stands out there took it to the utmost.
Man, Arizona, K Dizzle's favorite rapper is LL Cool J. I sent you that. I posted that today too on our Instagram.
Absolutely not.
LL Cool J said he the most something rapper.
He said he's gonna be remembered as one of the best, best rappers to ever live. And I'll give LL's kudos because he was doing it. He was doing the hard rap before everybody was doing it. He's the one that branched out and doing hard rap before anybody else was doing it.
If Wayne ain't getting love right now, LL Cool J definitely ain't getting no goddamn love. He need to go sit his old ass down somewhere and count his because if Wayne can't play the halftime, I don't want to hear LL Cool J talking about he's the best rapper or nothing.
All right. So we're gonna slide out. We're gonna slide out on that. Shout out to Kendrick. Shout out to Drake doing an unfiltered light skin move and suing the people that pay him. But I guess you got to do what light skin people got to do. Look, you showed me this.
Yeah, man.
Because this dude stay online with his phone. Somebody need to grab his phone when he mad, because it be getting out of control.
My man, a legend of the game, man.
He is who is Tyrese?
Tyrese is a legend of the game. He's one of those people. He's one of those people that's going to be on his own list of just like that, being one of those people, man. Just legendary.
One of those people that's always on the internet doing something dumb.
Man.
All right. So let's play this. So I ain't giving you SHIT. Tyrese calls out children's mother over child support video. Let me know. Make sure you can hear this one.
Take it to the internet again.
To earn this life, I'm gonna fight to keep it. Not giving it away to nobody. Ain't nobody gonna take this. I'm gonna shoot, stab, and kill over mine. I'm gonna protect this bottom line at all cost. I've earned it, and I'm gonna protect it. I'm gonna protect it as hard as I've earned it. That goes for all my homies, anybody in my family, anybody I ever marry again. If you think I'm about to just give it to you after I worked this hard to get it, you definitely got me confused. You definitely got the wrong one.
Y'all do not feel sorry for $175,000 per month. And she only asked for $10,000 a month in child support. And let's not forget how when his older daughter graduated from the 9th grade, he gifted her with a Rolls Royce. His ex-wife was simply asking for the same amount of child support that he paid for his other daughter, but she was being reasonable with him. Well, Tyrese only wants to pay $3,500 a month in child support. The court said that's not reasonable because in one day, you make $12,500. Therefore, the child support he had been paying, they said, is not even a full day's work.
All right. So
why is she so excited about this?
I don't, because she's part of the
circuit.
Yeah, she's part of the circuit. And
goodness gracious, she was amped over that shit.
Here's what I do know. If you haven't learned by now, if you are in the entertainment industry and you make adequate money and you involve yourself with the other young lady and you have unprotected sex or the condom breaks or whatever the case may be, and you have a child, you should just start writing the checks before the baby is here, because a portion of your income is going to that woman every month, day in, day out, until that kid is 26 years old, because they will find a way to keep that child on the payroll for as long as humanly possible. Young women, unfortunately, some, not all of them, call that securing the bag for the future. Okay.
Damn.
And you are the bag for the future. If you make $300,000 a month, oh, they getting a piece of that because you were dumb enough to have that situation happen to you. And I'd have no sympathy for the man Tyrese. You are a grown man and you made these decisions and you knew, like everyone else, there's no way inexplicably. And I'm with you. I'm a fight for mine, dog. That's what you do. You go to court, you fight for it, you try to pay the least amount as possible. 50 Cent does the same thing, least amount as possible. I think maybe 50 got better lawyers. I don't know. Either way, you got to pay the money. And if you don't pay the money, they start coming for other stuff. So I don't have any sympathy for you, my man. Look, you fight for your money. The easiest way to win that fight is to wrap up. And have other plans and options in place so you don't take the full brunt of that force to your paycheck. Because look, we all know you can make a gross amount. That ain't the net. That ain't the take home. And so he's fighting because it's hitting the net of the take home. And Tyrese, man, you're gonna stay on the internet crying in and out for the next few years.
But it sound like he mad at the equation. Like he don't understand how AX plus B squared equals C. Yeah, that face like the shit don't add up to me. Like you're not just gonna take a full percentage of my shit. And that's the thing. Like, how do they come up with the figure? Like is $10,000 really adequate for child support? Is the question. I think we talked about it a long time ago on the All Dressed Up podcast. But if you listen on Spotify and iTunes, is 10 grand a month too much in child support?
Depends on the lifestyle of the child, lifestyle of the parents to the child. So $10,000 sounds like a lot from somebody who's making, let's say 60, not making $12,000 a month, making $150,000 or $180,000. It's a lot.
But it's child support. See, it goes back to the definition of what's child support. Like child support versus providing a lifestyle. Like, of course, like as my child is still my child. If I'm not, if I'm not in their life every day as a parent, I would still love to be able to provide for their lifestyle. But I think the support portion is like food, education, medicine, supplies, necessities for the child.
Correct.
And I think once you start getting into the $10,000 a month range, you're talking about providing a lifestyle.
That's what child support is. Child support is the money to help provide the adequate lifestyle for the child based on.
Is 10 grand necessary?
If you got your child who goes to a private,
I'm just asking.
If your child goes to a private school and that private school is $4,000 a month, that is adequate support. If half of that money is going to tuition or other stuff like that, and a lot of these kids go in these private schools.
So why can't KWW give a breakdown and say, okay, look, here are my expenses, plus whatever. This is what they should pay. Like, I think that's fair.
That's what they're supposed to do.
But it seems like they just be like, all right, well, you make X amount of money, so we're gonna get this amount of money.
No. Yeah, no. So they from what I am told, I am not fully experienced in the ways of child support and breakdown, but from what I understand and what I know people that paid it, they break down the kids' expenses, and also they put in a reasonable amount of adequate support based on the lifestyle what they're used to. So if there's tuition involved, livelihood, groceries, things like that make sure these kids are taken care of, that's what the number is. Now, it doesn't matter whether you make $25,000 a year or $250,000 a year. Depends on the lifestyle that you provide for your kid, and they'll take what they deem is necessary.
So, so what you saying is we fuck with you, Tyrese. You was great. You played in a lot of great movies. We loved you and Baby Boy and all that.
Mhm.
But get the hell off the internet crying
Yep,
about some goddamn child support payments to handle your business because we don't want to hear that shit.
absolutely.
The internet is not for you to come to be crying.
Can you finish those Fast and Furious movies, please? I don't care about your baby mamas. I just need you in those Fast and Furious movies. Finish up the story. Give me some closure. All right. You and Ludacris do your double take and just finish it up. Make some
My
more
man
money.
said, "You and Ludacris do your double take." That's that Dennis Rodman, John Claude Van Damme movie.
Dennis Rodman, John Claude Van Damme. But yeah, Tyrese gets to the internet, man. I can't take it. I can't take it.
2024, man. We got our favorite, celebrities that we grew up with online crying about paying child support and how their baby mothers is taking them for bad. It's wild, man.
So I know you said deep down on child support rules. So that is a very good question. Like what would we deem as fair on child support, right? How do you deem what's fair on child support? So because we always get these things where we see these kids that show their paychecks, and let's say they make $1,800 net and they get $1,200 or $1,500 taken for child support off their checks, and they walk home with $300.
Right.
So how do we deem that as fair?
It's tough, man. That's why I was asking the question because it's all subjective, man. Like that man's out here really trying, really going to work and bringing home a certain amount of money. So if it's proportionate, then just say that's what it is. Because if I make $2,000 a month and I got to pay $500 a month versus I make $10,000 a month and I got to pay $3,000 a month, is that the difference? You know what I'm saying? Is it because I have more to take from, or are you just gonna take it? That's kind of what Tyrese was saying. Just because I got it, y'all not gonna take it.
Pause. No, that's what they're there for.
Pause.
No, that's what they're there for. I think that's what he's confusing. He's confusing the fact that just because he's got it, he's confusing the fact that the reason why they had their child with you is to take it. That's the whole reason.
You got the game all wrong.
You got the game wrong. You got the game absolutely wrong. Now, if we're talking about regular people, now if you got a guy making, like I said, $2,000 a month and $1,800 is going to child support, and it's going to 5 different kids, that is a situation and circumstance that you created for yourself. And I don't know what to tell you how to get beyond that, other than to find another way to make money under the table, excuse me, and still work their full-time job and support those kids, or find a happy medium between those kids with those baby moms and figure out a way so that you can still live and breathe, because that's not sustainable. If you work 80 hours a week and 80% of your paycheck goes to child support, it's upsetting, but more importantly, it's your fault. You got to take ownership and accountability at some point.
I mean, is it fair to say that in most situations, if you got involved as a parent, then you might not have such aggressive child support restrictions put on you? Because I think if the communication is there up front and you show that you're willing to be in that child's life, emotionally, physically, financially, and all the above, I don't think you might be hit as hard off the top. I think some people might, just because of their economic situation. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're more forthcoming up front, you might be able to kind of avoid it.
Oh, absolutely.
In my opinion, and I think you should try to do that. Like, you should always want to be in your child's life to the best of your ability. And that's something that I deal with personally. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be the pot calling and kettle black, but
right.
You always want to do all that you can for your child, and then you ask yourself, even when you are doing it, is it enough? Like when you are in your child's life and you do for your child every day, Like current, you know, kid is, you know, you have so many children. You can speak on the fact that you probably ask yourself, "Am I doing everything as a father that I should be doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you're doing everything that you know that you should be doing. So imagine if you're just writing a check.
Right. Right.
You
No,
know what
that's
I'm saying?
you can circumvent child support with communication. There's plenty of guys out here that are doing co-parenting that are not paying child support because child support is actually meant to be a last resort when the differences between the parents are irreconcilable. It should never be the go-to de facto thing uh, un, un, because you guys don't know how to communicate. And that's the biggest thing. You can co-parent effectively and be in the child's life and support them the right way without having to, by law, pay money through the court system, garnish through your check. It all comes down to
That's
the
the
communication
goal.
part. That's the
That's
goal.
the goal.
And even if, let's say you are parenting either as a father or as a mom, no matter how many kids you have, you never feel like you feel like you're doing the best you can, but you're not always feeling like, are you doing everything you can? Absolutely. Are you doing everything right? Absolutely not. That's
Right.
that's just a situation of parenting in itself, and just trying to figure it out as you go along. The only thing that makes you a better parent, honestly, is just having more kids. You figure out the wrong things you did with the first one, do better with the second one, the third one, and so forth and so on.
But that's why I know it'd be impossible for you to just write a check and say like, all right, I did my part.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that would be impossible.
No, writing your check is not doing your part. Writing your check is just you're financing. You you are financing a kid and to not be in their life. That's what I'm saying. So and P says last resort, women want to put a man on child support 1 month after a breakup because of either spite or lack or communication breakdown. 100% correct. It should always be the last resort when the other person, whether it be the man or the woman, is not doing what they're supposed to do.
Hey, shout out to my man Big P, the casting director for the Climbback series, man. We got an episode coming out this week, man. So shout out to you, Big P. We got the Secret Society episode dropping this week. So looking forward to sharing it with you.
That's going to be fantastic. But the main focus really is when we're talking about, if you're talking about having children and you're trying to figure out how to move forward, navigate, and you and your significant other or the person is no longer in a relationship, the biggest thing is figuring out how to co-parent and how to be able to communicate effectively so we can avoid having the courts involved or having to move forward. And what that takes is accountability on both sides. As a man, if you say you're going to do X, Y, and Z every month, or you're going to take the child here and there, or you're going to be a part of this, you're going to do weekends, you have to set the standard and do what you say you're going to do. If you want to avoid that,
And not run to the internet, Kate. Doesn't tell them.
internet, talking about how you're going to fight for yours. It's a conversation. Now, again, Tyrese is the example where he is targeted for those funds. Okay, celebrities, athletes, professional athletes, superstars, whatever the case may be. If you're in an industry where you make a lot of money, you are targeted.
Oh, I saw you make the money. I wouldn't saw you last week in the movies.
100%. You are targeted for the income because they look at you as a check, as a bag. They look at the child
Oh, he
as a
fumbled the
person,
ball,
as a
fumbled
bag.
the bag.
At the 1 yard line. That's crazy. So just keep in mind, guys, if you're out here and you're out here in these streets and you having kids, or the possibility is there, you need to be smart about how you do things moving forward. First and foremost, you're gonna take the shot in the streets. Just be ready to deal with the consequences. Don't act like you brand new or you didn't think it was gonna happen. It's no reason to sit here in 2024 and say, "Oh man, I didn't know." No, you knew. You knew.
Can't shoot your shot to hide your hand then.
No, you can't do it, player.
It's too late.
So
It's too late, baby.
learn how to
It's just
negotiate
too late.
before the courts negotiate for you. Shout out to Tyrese for being pissed off and making his bad decisions. But let this be a lesson to the regular man, the average Joe, the middle class guy, to take care of business, hold yourself accountable, and more importantly, learn how to communicate better. P says, if they take a poll of how many single mothers get child support versus men who get child support, when a man has custody of the kid, the woman says, you, the father, take care of the kid.
Is that true?
I know a couple guys right now getting child support from their
Is that true?
ex-girls.
They letting women off the hook like that. I always hear that like you ain't got no chance when you go to court as the father.
Well, here's the thing. I've always been told if that situation comes up, you have to go to court first. Beat them to the punch. And that way you can tell the court, say, all right, this is how much I make. This is how much I can afford. And they may work with you in that instance. So if you're ever in that situation and you think it might go to that, go to the court first before they go to the court. I'm just giving you some inside tip, fellas, to stay smart out here in these streets. So
K Dizzle said beat him to the punch.
Beat him to the punch, man. Beat him to the punch. Moral of the story is take care of these kids. Take care of these kids. Learn how to negotiate. Stay on good terms with folks.
Learn how to negotiate.
Learn how to
take care of these kids. Learn how to negotiate.
I bet you know more women.
I bet you know more women that get child support.
Of course, indeed. Because both men and women make terrible decisions. Make terrible decisions.
That's the moral of the story.
It's the moral of the story.
Like you said.
It's the moral of the story. Look, man. Look. Tyrese taken to the internet again crying. Cut it out. We don't want to hear it, bro. Keep going back to do movies. Week 13 is in the books. Climbback series has a Secret Society episode coming. Okay. Hef Streams Media, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere. The Climbback series is on YouTube under Hef Streams Media. They are trailblazing. You hear me? Trailblazing. Make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe there. K Dizzle DC, same thing here. Like, comment, and subscribe. But more importantly, where you at right now, ADU Podcast, Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you like the YouTube page, sub, and check out all the new potential that's coming up. If you want to be a part of the show, have ideas on the show, on the next show, submit that info to alldresseduppodcast@gmail.com. Listen to Spotify, YouTube, Apple iTunes, everywhere. We're always there. Amazon, Kindle, don't matter what you got. If you got an iPod Nano, crank that bad boy up and say, Siri, play an ADU podcast, and they will find you for us. Sleeper Spotify playlist is still there live and is catching steam. Believe it or not, it is catching steam. So go check that out too. Hef, give us some wise words to go out on, my man.
Look, man, it's okay. It's okay when you make bad decisions. You can always recover from them. And it's going to be okay to you, San Francisco 49er fans, as your team is getting abused in the snow in Buffalo right now, 21-3.
Mollywop.
So, the season continues. We'll be back the Sunday after next, man. Much love to everybody that watches, man. The Climbback series is hot. Hef Streams Media, 14th ENT, K Dizzle DC. I'm Hef Streams.
We out, baby.
You know, and I know, and they know, cause we know, we go all in, you know, and I know, they know, cause we know.